Ready to Skeleton episode 2.
Woo! Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Liv's living room.
Welcome back to my living room.
Liv's living room. I love that.
Full of art, full of wonder. So, before we begin, we would like to acknowledge and pay respect to the traditional custodians of the stolen land on which we are recording this podcast today. The Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung people of the Kulin Nation. We pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging. Sovereignty has never been ceded and it always was and always will be Aboriginal land.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So, like we said, welcome back. Episode
back.
2.
So excited.
What are we delving into today, Liv?
Rebellion. So, today's theme is feminine rage and acts of rebellion, a topic I know we have been so excited to talk about.
Yes, this one feels a very natural step from our first episode on domestic labour.
Yes.
And now we're shifting from the home into the battlefield, so to speak. We are exploring how rage becomes active, visible, revolutionary, and especially in women art.
Absolutely. So just like last time, we are bringing 2 artworks to the table. I'll be looking at 2 Baroque paintings, Elisabetta Sirani's Timoclea killing her rapist from 1659, and Artemisia Gentileschi's Judith slaying Holofernes from 1612 to 13. Both are violent, emotional, and deeply tied to the representation of women's agency in incredible moments of crisis.
Of course. Yes. And I will be bringing our 2 modern and contemporary artworks to the fold, which is Pipilotti Rist, Ever is Overall. I've been saying it wrong the entire time. 1997, which is an audiovisual installation. And to compare that is Helen Chadwick's In the Kitchen, in parentheses, Stove, 1977, a colour photograph from her domestic sanitation series. Both in their own ways use rebellion and performance to challenge how femininity and rage are represented in their art.
Amazing. Such a fun step.
Such a fun step.
From the domestic sphere we were talking about last step.
Last step was intense.
Intense.
And this episode is also intense.
And so fun.
But more fun.
Let's get violent.
Let's get violent.
And before we dive into the violence, I think we should start with a few definitions.
As always.
Because our key terms, feminine rage, and women are really the backbone of our discussion.
Definitely. So when we talk about femininity, we're not talking about something biological or innate. Thank you. We're talking about the socially, historically constructed category. It shapes how women are expected to behave, linking them with domesticity, beauty. I can never say that word. What is it?
Which word? Oh, docility.
Docility and care. That's okay. And importantly, femininity has been defined in opposition to masculinity. It is a system that is reinforced by class, race, and culture.
Yes. Exactly. And while femininity has been used to constrain women in the past, it's also a language women have learned to resist through, very much in a contemporary setting, as we will dive into. And then there's rage, which is not just anger, but an emotional and political force. It emerges in response to injustice or oppression. And while it is often suppressed, it also has an incredible transformative power.
Yes.
Rage can motivate resistance, assert presence, and demand recognition.
And like always, when we talk about it, we talk about feminine rage. Feminine rage. We're talking about the collision of these 2 forces, femininity and rage. Historically, it's been coded as dangerous or unfeminine, but when it's expressed, especially through art, action, or rebellion, it destabilizes those ideas. It becomes a tool of empowerment, a way of saying, I refuse to be silent.
I love it.
I love that too.
And we refuse to be silent because that's why we have a podcast.
Exactly.
Cool.
Hit us off.
And that is what today's artworks are all about. Acts of defiance, where women, whether mythological, historical, or contemporary, reclaim power through rebellion. And for the purpose of this podcast, what we mean by woman is anybody who identifies and lives as a woman regardless of sex assigned at birth, acknowledging that womanhood encompasses both the material realities of the body and a self-determined understanding of identity.
Beautiful.
So let's bring it all back and start in the 17th century, shall we?
Ooh, let's throw it back.
Yep, throw it back to Elisabetta Sirani's Timoclea killing her rapist.
Ooh.
It's an extraordinary painting.
Beautiful piece.
And Sirani, believe it or not, was 23 years old when she created this masterpiece. Masterpiece? The work depicts the moment after Timoclea, a Theban woman, kills the Thracian or Thracian soldier, that you can pronounce it either way.
Tomato.
Tomato, who raped her, yikes, by pushing him into a well.
Yikes.
It's an act of moral and physical rebellion. A woman reclaiming agency in a violent patriarchal world. Sirani paints Timoclea standing upright, composed, with an arm raised in dominance. The soldier's body twists below her. The emotion here isn't chaos, it's controlled, and it is deliberate. Her rage has a purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Sirani's painting in a society where women were very rarely acknowledged as artists.
Yes.
And Timoclea's artistic practice is a defiance in itself.
Yeah.
She's asserting herself in a male-dominated history, declaring her presence.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It is amazing how she both embodies control and violence at once.
Yes.
It's amazing. There's nothing hysterical or irrational about this piece. It's justice, not fury.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what fascinates me about feminine rage, how often it is reframed through calmness and composure. Sirani's Timoclea doesn't scream, she acts. It's almost as if Sirani is saying women's anger doesn't have to look like chaos. It can look like righteousness. We don't have to look crazy.
No.
We can be cool, calm, and collected, just like Cassatt's artwork we discussed in episode 1.
Yes.
Throwing it back to that.
Throw that back. Good linkage. Good linkage.
I know. And then about 50 years earlier, we have Artemisia Gentileschi's painting of Judith slaying Holofernes.
A fan favorite.
A fan favorite again. It's
Fan favorite.
another moment of brutal retribution. Judith beheading the Assyrian general who threatened her people. But Gentileschi's version is visceral. There's blood splurting across the canvas. The woman's muscles are tense. Her focus is unflinching. She has purpose. Gentileschi herself has been raped by her painting tutor Agostino Tassi, and she endured a humiliating public trial.
Awful.
So from that personal experience, we can see her channeling this personal trauma into a mythological revenge in oil on canvas.
Which is beautiful.
Luce,
Yeah.
do you think the way that each artist expresses feminine rage, one through restraint and one through direct bodily action, changes how we as viewers understand women's anger as a political or emotional force?
Oh, God. Like, yeah. Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I think in a political sense, if we're looking at Gentileschi, especially going through a humiliating
Public trial.
Can I say the word?
Humiliating?
There we go.
Humiliating.
Public trial. I think her to find her act of justice through it in painting this is her way of speaking out against it.
Yeah.
Her form of rebellion against the ones that done her wrong.
Yeah. I'm not staying silent about
Not
this.
saying silent, like, this is what's happened, this guy's done this, and I refuse to be silent about it.
Yeah.
Which is exactly the same as Sirani's.
Yeah.
She has taken this moment of what's happened to her and has decided to be like, you know what, no, if he can do this to me, I can do this to him.
Yeah.
In a certain way. It does change, I guess, a bit, but the way, it's an interesting concept in when you look at women's anger in the sense of the violence about it.
Yes.
But
So embodied.
it's so embodied, but I think both of those paintings are so powerful, and it's not just for rage's sakes.
No.
It's rage with direction.
Yes.
It's rage with a moral.
Yes.
It's rage, with force. It's everything in between. I think it makes the paintings impossible to look away from because the women are engaging in such violent acts that you want to kind of understand why. Why are they doing this? At least this is what I get when I look at these paintings. I'm like, there's got to be a reason why she's doing this.
Yeah.
We, as women, do things with purpose. And I
Always.
think especially in both of these paintings, there's a reason why these women are doing it. And like we stated, what's happened for them to perform these acts is, I think justifiable.
Absolutely. So both Sirani and Gentileschi are reclaiming women's bodies as sites of justice rather than victimhood, and I think that is so powerful. They take these biblical or mythological stories and reframe them through empathy and understanding of women's experience, which I think as a contemporary audience we can just so project ourselves.
Oh, 100%.
Into the rebellion. It's just not within the scene. It comes out of the painting. It
hits you in the face.
It hits you in the face, and that is why we love it.
And that's why we love it. And Liv and I talk about this a lot.
Yes.
Especially Gentileschi's, like, that painting alone. We talk about it.
I just
Too much. Too much, probably.
No, we're art history students.
But that's what we do.
There is no limit.
There's no limit to how much we talk about art.
Yeah.
But it hits you in the face. It's not silent. I'm gonna speak out.
Well, it's like how Biswa's artwork from episode 1, if listeners will remember, it's leaning out of the wall. It's coming into your space.
It's confronting you.
Yeah.
It's making you look at the bigger story.
Yeah, and these artworks are huge.
These artworks aren't small. Yeah. They're massive.
Yeah.
And I think that really links perfectly into our contemporary pieces.
100%.
We're looking at Pipilotti Rist, Ever is Overall.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it takes us looking into women's rage in a totally new way.
Yeah.
For context, let's give like a little snippet.
Love to see a little snippet.
Love a little snippy. A little snippy. Mm-hmm. Here we go, a little refresher.
Can't wait.
For the listeners, there will be a link. For the visual,
yep.
You can see it on your screen.
For those looking at our beautiful faces, it will be on the screen.
And you're welcome for that. Enjoy. But yeah, let's dive into it. Ever is over all. There we go.
It's really tricky.
It's a bit of a tongue twister. That is a tongue twister in itself. But to give you some context, it is a 2-channel video installation from 1997.
Beautiful.
On one side, we have a slow motion footage of bright red flowers swaying in the sun, and the other is a woman, Rist herself, walking down the city streets in a flowing blue dress, smiling. Sorry about that. Wow, why are you honking? Hey, it's quite ironic considering she's smashing cars.
I sure hope she's not out there smashing my car.
No, neither. So she's smashing car windows, as we see, with a long metal flower. It's joyful, defiant, and absurd all at once.
Yeah.
Her nonchalant attitude towards breaking the car windows with a flower conveys a sense of agency and freedom that rejects this notion that women should always behave accordingly to patriarchal expectations.
Incredible.
With decorum and politeness, which is beautiful. And by using a flower, it objects typically associated with the whole beauty and femininity as well, to commit what can be interpreted as an act of rebellion or even violence, which is what we just spoke about. Rist engages in a concept of female pleasure in a way that is neither apologetic nor constrained. Olivia.
Lucy.
When you watch this, how do you think the symbols of femininity, so the flowers, the dresses, the skipping down the street, into tools of power and rebellion?
Well, I think it totally flips this concept of femininity on its head.
Yeah.
We take, a flower and a dress, which are traditional markers of femininity, softness and beauty, but in Ever Is All Over, she weaponizes them, which is just the coolest thing.
It's incredible.
The flower becomes a tool of destruction. The dress becomes a piece of armor. So she's not really rejecting femininity outright, but she's reclaiming it and saying that power and rebellion can exist within this world of femininity.
You can still be beautiful and a rebel at the same time.
Absolutely. So by using these hyper feminine objects to commit this act of defiance, Rist is exposing how arbitrary these associations are. A flower doesn't have to fall apart if you step on it.
No.
It could poke you in the foot.
I mean, roses do have thorns.
Exactly.
They fight back.
Yeah, in this video we see that a flower can shatter glass just as easily as a hammer, and a smile can carry the same subversive force as a scream.
God damn. That is crazy. Because what is striking about that is the contrast to Gentileschi's violence.
Yes.
Rist's destruction is euphoric. She's laughing, hair flying. She rebels against the urban order. Even a policewoman walks by and she nods approvingly at this.
Icon.
It turns rebellion into play, transforming feminine rage into something liberating rather than tragic. With the joyful destruction, though, of these car windows, using the flower, does it blur this line between the violence and the play?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think she's laughing, she's carefree, she's dancing as she smashes these windows. It feels playful, but it is also a total act of defiance. And this contrast really makes us question why women's anger has been seen as dangerous and hysterical.
Yeah.
She shows that rebellion can be light, it can be euphoric, and still deeply political. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Such a blurred line, and I'm all about it.
A blurred line.
Yeah.
It's visually stunning.
Yeah.
And it's the slow motion, the bright colours, the music, the central cinematic. Rage is not ugly here.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's like Rist is rewriting the narrative, saying, what if a woman's anger could be pleasure? And I think when you especially look at our supporting piece here, we're delving into Helen Chadwick's In the Kitchen from 1977. The tone completely shifts on its head again. Completely shifts its head. Chadwick, for context, photographs herself surrounded by domestic appliances, stoves, sinks, washing machines, arranging them like shrines or altars. She's nude, gleaming in oil, posing amidst these are objects that are considered women's work.
Yeah.
Women's work. Chadwick isn't destroying anything physically. She is dismantling this idea, though, the equation of femininity with domesticity. It's sensual, it's confrontational. The rebellion lies in the exposure. She has taken the hidden private female labour of the home and represents it as art itself. It's a performance. This female body has also been turned into a vessel, often being reduced to reproduction, labour, and emotional care. Domestic labour can be linked to the sexualisation of work as well. And like we saw in Bissoirs, in Pablo's, it's this expectation that women have to perform this physical labour with a grace, with a charm.
With a white smock apron.
With, the maid outfit, making it
just hypersexualized.
Hypersexualized.
And romanticized even
romanticized that, that is a form of sexual act.
Yeah, foreplay,
which is weird.
Very weird.
Do you think these feminist concerns of relationship with the body and the home are reflected in kind of a society today that we still see?
Totally. I think Chadwick's In the Kitchen feels deeply rooted in that 60s, 70s feminist concern around how the female body was so deeply tied to the domestic space. The kitchen was both a literal and symbolic site of confinement where a woman's value was measured through service and care. And I think by her own body in that context, Chadwick is exposing how domestic labour shapes identity and visibility, even invisibility for women.
Yeah.
And what's so powerful is that it still resonates today. I mean, even though our roles have expanded, the emotional and physical labour of still, keeping things running, it still really often falls to women. And Chadwick's work really reminds us that the body and the home remain totally entangled. And it's just that now those boundaries extend into digital spaces and emotional spaces too.
Yeah, 100%. By transforming into the stove, transforming herself into the actual physical stove.
I know, turning herself into the stove.
She turns herself into a stove.
It's amazing.
It's incredible.
Amazing.
It shifts this focal point into this conceptual and visual art piece.
Yeah.
Chadwick subverts the traditional view of the kitchen as merely a functional space.
Yeah.
She challenges these ideas that women's labour within the home should remain invisible and undervalued, giving it a new meaning and raising its profile in a contemporary artistic context. In this way, the kitchen becomes a powerful space. It becomes a empowerment where women's experiences of labour and agency are acknowledged by given in this artistic way. And I think it's interesting when you compare Rist to Chadwick, they're both challenging this idea of women in public spaces and women in private spaces.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's so fascinating because, in a way, Chadwick and Rist are extending what Gentileschi and Sirani started, but through new media. They're still questioning how women's power is seen, controlled, and performed, but instead of working within mythological or historical narratives that women were traditionally, restrained to, they're reframing the everyday. Yeah. Chadwick looks at the domestic sphere, at the invisible labour that underpins so much of women's experience, while Rist takes that energy into the public space, the street, and turns it into this incredible spectacle. Both are playing with how women are watched, which is incredible. But Chadwick through the lens of the kitchen and Rist through the cinematic gaze. They're reclaiming those spaces, private and public, and inserting feminine rage, not as an interruption, but as an integral living force.
Oh, beautiful. Exactly. Yeah. And within this rage, everyone is self-aware.
Yeah.
Everyone is self-aware.
We know what's going on.
We know what's going on.
We're women. We're paying attention.
We're women. We know these things. Yeah. Rist is smiling as she smashes the glasses. Yeah. Chadwick poses knowingly, looking into the camera lens.
Yes.
And, that rage is understood on its own, as its own spectacle. Its own spectacle, sorry.
It makes me think of Cindy Sherman when she's, looking off the camera, like that.
Yeah.
That gets me really excited.
Yeah, it's a rebellion against on how femininity needs to behave.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. And when you put all these works together, Siriani's Timoclea, Gentileschi's Judith, Chadwick's Stove, Rist's Ever Is All Over, you get this spectrum of feminine rage, from silent righteousness to complete cathartic joy.
Oh, I like that.
I know. And it makes me wonder, do you think that what we're seeing over time is a shift in how feminine rage is allowed to be expressed? Like from creating something contained and moralized to something that's so unapologetic and performative and maybe even celebratory of rage?
I think so. I think there's a definite... how do I word this in a way? We're allowed to feel that way.
Yeah.
Feminine rage is... I think it's like we've defined, it's a particular feeling.
Yeah.
And I think within all of these artworks, we are claiming that feminine rage and we're being like, yeah, this has happened and it's pissed me off and I'm going to be angry about it. It's each work are redefining what rebellion looks like. They are, Sirani and Gentileschi is more violent but more moral and more silent in a sense, whereas they're reclaiming their justice. Whereas Rist and Chadwick's is conceptual and it's performative. It's reclaiming their self-expression and they're all confronting the viewer. They're all doing it to be like, look at what's happened. This is what I'm doing now. You're going to look at it and you're going to be made aware of it.
And it's so validating to the contemporary woman. I mean,
I know.
Even this podcast.
Yeah, literally.
We are creating a space.
This is a
where
space.
We validate the experience of feminine rage, the everyday experience of women. And that's so cool. Like, if we were Siriani, I don't think we'd be able to have this, this little podcast. But here we are now, thanks to all of these works that these incredible artists have created.
We're able to express our rage.
And have a dialogue.
And have
listeners that want to listen to it. And rage along with us.
And rage with us.
And I just think that what's so beautiful is that the rage doesn't always look the same. No. It can be violent, ecstatic, it can be ironic and political. Feminine rage exposes the limits of femininity itself, showing that the so-called feminine is never passive, but full of energy, critique, and potential.
Exactly. Yeah. Feminine rage is rebellion. Rebellion is feminine rage.
Yeah.
Whether rebellion is against violence, invisibility, or the expectation of... Olivia, hit me with the word.
Docility.
There we go.
So maybe that's the takeaway for today. Rebellion isn't always loud. Sometimes it's composure, sometimes it's laughter, and sometimes it's a flower smashing a window.
Yep. 100%. Or sometimes it's women, you know, talking into a teaspoon.
Talking into a teaspoon.
Talking
into
into
a paintbrush.
Picking up a paintbrush centuries ago, or even today saying, I'm here.
Exactly.
I'm not silent.
Exactly.
I'm going to stand up and I'm going to act out.
And I'm going to scream.
And I'm going to scream.
Yeah, assert my
I'm
ground.
going to assert my ground.
Stand up for myself.
Stand up for what's happened to me and, you know,
and
put the people on blast.
But it's just so amazing that, you know, maybe it didn't maybe start with Sirani or Gentileschi, but they absolutely laid the groundwork for us to come along.
Because at the time, you know, looking at it from a contemporary view, like we can now see these underlying currents that were laid back in the 17th century that now we can look at today and be like, this is, they've laid some foundation for us to talk about it today, to be able to be, we are, which is actually kind of, tangent, which is kind of crazy because everyone compares Rist's video to Dorothy. They give her that like yellow brick road, blue dress, and walking down a path, and
quiet, feminine little girl.
It's which is an insane,
amazing.
Anyway,
well, thank you everybody for tuning into episode 2 of Scalded.
Oh my god!
Please follow us on Instagram.
Yes.
We would love to have your support. We post, you know, fun little images of the artworks. You can check them all out there. And little polls. Tapping into feminine rage. Tell us your thoughts. Let us know if you liked this episode.
Yeah, and like, if there's anything else we can do, like other artworks. Yeah. But feminine rage and rebellion.
Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned and, you know, brace your knees, get ready for episode 3.
Episode 3 is an interesting so one.
Fun. Lucy sat down with Miles Russell Cook, the CEO of ACCA.
I know.
And talked all about feminine rage.
Yeah.
If you like Yoko Ono, pay attention.
If you like Yoko Ono. Or if you don't like Yoko Ono, still pay attention because this is for you.
This is for you. We'll learn a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.